the lighting is different. Is the lighting better? Because I did get a shade over here on this window. My fingers are all chapped now from installing it and it still doesn't look quite right, but it's doing its job. What's up guys? Welcome back. Today's going to be a fun Friday video. Maybe my Friday videos should like always be just kind of loosey-goosey. I don't know. Either way, look at that. Look at all those. I have all of the new shades of the Tower 28 blushes, and not because I'm on her PR list. No. It is because I paid for them, and I also have the other ones that I already owned. I'm gonna swatch all of them today, but I figured we would just do like a fun little hydrating get ready with me because my skin looks really dehydrated, and I would try and watercolor as many of these on my face as I possibly can because that sounds fun to me. So, you know, very little other explanation than that. I'm gonna move you guys in and we're gonna put a whole bunch of very dewy makeup on my face. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ba-ba. Healer. That's a little bit better. I don't know, it probably makes me look like a little bit more of a hag, but it is what it is. I'd rather you guys see detail. So I'm going in first and foremost with the SOS spray. This is a Tower 28, you know, unique product. It's one of their proprietary things. And people say it's really good for eczema and skin irritation and balancing and all that. So Lord knows. I could use it. And I definitely had my doubts about this product when I first tried it, but I've heard a lot of people say that they think that it is utterly fantastic. I'm not going to tell them that they're wrong. I just have never really like noticed a huge difference with it, but when I said that in my review, I just saw it. Like, she messaged it to me a really long time ago and I literally just saw it when I tagged them. But apparently the founder messaged me and was like, I'm really sorry that you didn't like the SOS spray. I promise you it's really good. And I was like, oh, I feel really bad. Like, she genuinely cared that she wanted me to really like it, so I feel like I should give it a chance. Anyway, we're gonna start with the Hydromaniac here. And just like in the review video, I am mixing this with just a touch of my bronze drops, my DeBronzy Anti-Pollution Sunshine Drops from Drunk Elephant. If you guys know of another product like that you really like, let me know. I used to have some by e.l.f. that were just mixers. I remember them working pretty well. Maybe I will repurchase those. I have really been enjoying this foundation because it is super duper hydrating and it has like the longest wear time of anything of this texture that I've used in a really long time. I have been really still liking the Beauty Blender concealer. I have the shade Light Peach. They sent me Light Peach and Light Beige, and they're both pretty good on me. I like it because it's super high coverage, but also kind of hydrating, and so I feel like I can be selective about my coverage, accomplish what I set out to accomplish without putting a whole bunch of complexion product on where I don't need it. I almost don't even want to talk about the condition of my skin right now. Why am I using this brush? I prefer this brush. I just got a message from my contact at Eco Tools who makes this brush that they are finally back in stock with the brush that I was waiting for to do my tools video. See, look at that. I know that it's not going to be perfect, but that did an effortless job of camouflaging that zit, and boy, that was a doozy. I am actually reordering Curology also. To end that story, she's getting that brush back in stock and they are sending it to me so that I can actually do my tools video for you guys because I've been talking about it for so long. But also, I'm getting back on Curology. I just need to go ahead and take some photos for them to refresh my formula because my acne's back. And I am having trouble kind of resisting the picking urge because I've been very, very stressed out lately. And so you can see I picked that one. And you know, I don't shame myself too much about it, but at the same time, I have to understand the psychology behind it and that like, I'm not fixing it. I'm literally making it worse. I'm only making it worse. So look at that. I know that this is not about the complexion products in this video, but like, that is just a really great combo, and I really, really like the Beauty Blender concealer. I'm really glad that they sent that to me. Okay, I will probably go in with contour at some point in this video because there are no contours in the Tower 28 collection, but I'm gonna go ahead and swatch all of these and then we can make some decisions on what order we're gonna try and watercolor these on my face with. Yeah, that's That was a normal sentence, right? Okay, so all but 2 of these are actually new to me. So this is After Hours, Power Hour, Rush Hour. So those are the 3 new ones. And then we have Golden Hour, which is new to me, but not new to the collection. Happy Hour, which I already had. Magic Hour, which happens to be my favorite just because it's a very easy to wear rosy color. And then this is actually the Bronzino in the shade that I originally ordered, which is West Coast. They sent me Best Coast. That was a whole thing during the Sephora sale like a year ago when this first came out, where everybody who ordered West Coast ended up getting Best Coast by accident. And Sephora just kind of didn't even do a mea culpa. They were like, well, I guess you didn't like it, so, you know, send it back and we'll refund you. And I was like, I guess I'll just hold on to it. So I don't know where that one went. My bottom drawer in my Alex drawers won't close because something's back there and I need to unscrew the whole thing in order to find out what's behind that drawer. I'd be willing to bet that it is Best Coast, but today I just have West Coast. So sorry, moving problems, but those are some of my best swatches. And this is a beautifully swatching formula. Like, it's very, very consistent in its pigment. Now I have some decisions to make, right? We're gonna start with the bronzer though. So this bronzer is, it's pretty sparkly. It's pretty sparkly. I'm gonna see if it goes on sparkly, because sometimes sparkly just means that it is going to spread really naturally. You know, with like eyeshadows and stuff, sometimes that's the case. And I really appreciate that. You guys know, you might not know, honestly. It's been ages since I used to do this, but I had like a 4 or 5 step cheek routine when I was doing full powder looks, and it would consist of a matte and a shimmer of each product, because I felt like the matte was sort of local color, whereas the shimmer was for spreadability and to make things look really blended. It's really such a lovely formula. It's kind of hard to talk about it because, like, it's nothing like groundbreaking. It just like sets out to do something and it accomplishes it really flawlessly. It's kind of like a sunscreen or something, you know? You're just kind of like, it works. It's a good thing that it works, and it told me it was gonna work and now it works. And like, that's how these blushes are. You're like, yep, these are really pretty and they're very good at being blushes or bronzers or whatever. Like, there's nothing really to complain about. So I would say that, like, if there's a color in here that appeals to you, then, you know, go for it, because it's just one of the most user-friendly, beginner-friendly formulas. Now, I am going to talk in a little bit about, you know, if you can't decide on a shade or something like that, there are some options. I have some thoughts. I like West Coast. I think that that is much easier to wear, and it is a true bronzer in the sense that it looks like the sun hit my face, you know, but it's not crazy orange, which I super duper appreciate. And the glitter is nice. Like, the shimmer, it's not glitter. The shimmer is actually really, really nice because it's kind of a gold shift. You know, I've been using the original ones forever on my channel, and I want to be able to show you guys the 3 new ones as much as I can. So the 3 new ones are Rush Hour, Power Hour, and After Hours. I ended up picking up Golden Hour, but this one was already in the collection. I just didn't own it. So we have like a peachy color, I don't know, almost like a deep terracotta color, and then a berry, which, you know, fjords. On my Instagram recently, someone said something like, that's why Khaki doesn't allow replies to her stories. The fjords have spoken. I just want to say thank you for saying that the fjords have spoken. You can run through fjords, and fjords can speak. With authority, no less. Okay, so that's Rush Hour, and she is pretty. There were no true peaches in this collection so far, and that is peachy. It's so pretty. You guys might have seen on my, whoops, that's a lot. If we're going to be watercoloring, that's quite a lot, Khaki. I need to be a little more careful. I goofed. Here I am getting carried away. All right. My forehead is what always gets me into trouble, so literally I just like wiped that off. All right, so you might have seen on my Instagram, I did a full peachy look with the Bite lipstick in Stinger. Whew. That is pretty. It is not often you catch me in a lipstick, you know, like a matte lipstick, and that's a creamy matte. It's not like a liquid lipstick or anything, but it is still a creamy matte. And that it was just I was feeling myself that day. And you know, lately I've been needing to feel myself because we moved, it's a pandemic, I'm alone with a child all day. I've just been feeling really isolated. And it's hard for me sometimes when all I want to do is film and talk to you guys to try and be present with my kid. And that's just a confession. I'm kind of like, I love my job and I've created a job that I love. And I know that that's like uncommon. A lot of people don't totally love their work, but I do. And so, you know, it's been hard figuring out how to divide my time without sort of like feeling like one is stealing me from the other and vice versa. Mom problems. All right, so I don't know if you can hear that ceiling fan. Is that bothering you guys? It's kind of a low hum. The berry color is what I definitely want to go in with next, and that one is called After Hours. I don't expect anyone to keep all the names straight because while they are quite punny, they are all very similar because they all end in hour or hours, and that is difficult for me to discern sometimes. So I just keep reading the backs of all of them. That's very nice. They're very dewy, and so yes, you know, there is enough pigment where I can build them up. Obviously, you saw me just, you know, put way too much on my forehead all at once, that I can get the look that I'm going for without them getting gummy, but they will eventually start to gum up. They don't have, whoopsies, keep doing that. They don't have their own dry down per se. You know, like your skin will absorb the emollients of them, or at least mine will because it's so dry, but it doesn't ever like, you know, become transfer resistant or anything. And I think that that's worth noting. Like a Daniel Sandler blush will dry down completely and it will become pretty transfer resistant. And so, you know, it's a cream. It's just a cream. Like I said, it's not, there's nothing, I don't want to say there's nothing exceptional about them, but exceptional can be bad too. You know what I mean? Like it's an exception to the rule. Like it's just a good blush. It's a really, really good blush formula. Not undupable by any means, but it's really good. And they're fairly affordable. I think it's like 20 bucks a piece. That's nice. Let's see if we can cram one more on here. So let's go with Power Hour, which is that terracotta color, and see if I can just get a touch of brown, maybe? Yeah, that's got a really, really nice kind of brown rosy thing to it, like a dusty rosy brown. And I'm just gonna use that kind of on the backs of my cheeks to try and achieve a little illusion of depth. That's quite a lot, and that's okay. That was kind of what I set out to do. I am going to go in with just a little bit more of my complexion product and clean it up, and also some contour. So I will zoom through this so that I don't bore you. So something that she doesn't have in her collection is a true highlighter, in my opinion, because there is just a gloss that is meant to be just a textural highlighter. And you guys know that that was not my thing. So I'm going to go in with the one from Merit Beauty today because I really love how this looks. I love how it goes on other cream products. It's got enough slip to it. I feel like there is like an engineering decision that was made here that it's so slippy because they want to be able to apply it on top of other cream products without pushing it around. Something that I was noticing as I was kind of trying to layer these a little bit, and this happens with a lot of different cream products, it's not just like an issue of Tower 28, it's just that you have to be really careful because eventually you'll start just picking the product back up. And I don't know, there's always that challenge with makeup because depending on the texture, you could also pick up a product that has dried down, and that's even worse. The only thing that doesn't really do that is like a powder. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a little eye look while I talk about my philosophy on blush here. So I'm going in with the Wayne Goss palette because I have fallen back in love with it, okay? I have these like, you know, little love affairs and fallings in and fallings out with different products, and I have gotten back in love with this one, particularly just these three shades, the shimmery ones. Blush, right, everybody's got a different approach to it. And I have like always thought of it as a box of paints, you know? I can't help but think of it that way. My brain works not necessarily flawlessly by any means, but in kind of a painterly mindset. And like, I find that I start to check out, I've talked about this before, but I find that I start to check out and get in like a flow state. Is my husband vacuuming? A flow state when it comes to painting on my face with blush especially. And I don't always think about stuff as like, is it unique to my collection? Because most things aren't unique to my collection. I have a really, really large collection, and I like it that way because then I can swatch for you guys and give you, you know, good examples and representations of dupes and things like that. And this is not everybody's preference, but with that in mind, might I offer a counterpoint? This is the Danessa Myricks Nudist Palette, and guys, this formula is incredible. It is very much like the Tower 28 formula in the sense that it never complains. It builds beautifully on the skin, and I would also argue, unless you really are super duper in love with a color enough that you are going to work your way all the way through one pan of it, this is just more how I think. And so this does have, might not have that like terracotta color in there. It doesn't have as like hot of a pink, but she has several of these, and I don't necessarily think that like it's one or the other, but you can kill a lot of birds, God bless the birds, with this palette for $44 rather than paying individually for $20 of blush color that you're probably not going to work your way all the way through. That's just, it's just something I want to throw out there. Maybe you are so in love with one blush that it becomes your holy grail and you use it forever and you pan it and you repurchase it, fine. But I just wanted to offer this as like an icebreaker, because a lot of times we do get really obsessed with new, and we get really excited that like a brand that we like that kind of shares our values or shares our aesthetic or whatever that we've, you know, liked in the past does something new. We want to kind of go spend our money on that, and that's fine. You know, support the brands that you want to, it's your money, but sometimes we can kind of get swept away and in thinking that something is actually really, really unique when there might be, if you're not a devotee to that brand or something like that, there might be a better way to accomplish what you're going for. No shade on Tower 28 specifically. I just wanted to point that out because, you know, unlike like Rare Beauty or something, which, you know, it's not my favorite blush formula in the world, it's not very similar to the Danessa Myricks formula. The Tower 28 and the Danessa Myricks formulas are virtually identical to me. The Danessa Myricks might be just like a touch stiffer, a touch. And for me, that means that I can watercolor them more easily without it getting gummy, but that's, I mean, that's splitting hairs. All right, I'm gonna throw on an eyeliner and my mascara and everything, and I'll be right back. All right, so the other thing that Tower 28 is really known for is their lip gloss formula, and I do think that these are remarkable. The milky ones specifically. The other ones are great, they are, just like their blushes. They're great, but these are specifically really good. Like, I don't know of anything that's quite like this. I did buy all 4 of these with my own money as well, and I have said this from the beginning, they feel like a love letter to my khaki lip liner. They just go so well with it, with just the right amount of coverage. So this is the shade Oat. Just a really pale pink, pale pinky beige. And it's like the perfect way to spread that lip liner out. It gives me the right definition around my lips, but also just enough color. It's a thing without being a thing that takes over my face. Do y'all understand what I mean when I say it's a thing? It's like a lot of times we end up with these products that are just a texture. Sometimes it's a shimmer goo, sometimes it's just like a clear gloss or something like that. And once you get it on, you're like, well, I mean, you know, is that really a thing? Did it make a difference? Like, this is subtle, but it's a thing. By the way, I hope you guys don't totally hate my like center part or just slightly off center part. My hair has started falling out from postpartum and stress and climate, like changing in climate, you know, from where I moved and everything, that, you know, I'm just pulling out lots and lots of my hair when I'm showering, and this is just a way for me to not have to deal with it. Okay, so let's see if there's anything kind of worth pointing out here about these. Okay, yes, so they're $20 a piece. They're technically clean at Sephora. It says a multitasking tinted balm for ultra glowing lips and cheeks. I never use lip and cheeks on my lips because I feel like a cheek formula just never stays put on my lips. It's just, they're just not the same thing. Minus the cakiness and harsh lines, green tea extract, aloe vera extracts for hydration and calming and natural antioxidants, which is great. So there are, you know, skincare claims here. Beach Please Blush delivers buildable color and a luminous second skin finish. The silicone-free formula is made with skin-loving plant-based ingredients like green tea extract and aloe vera. I wanna say that the Danessa Myricks also doesn't have silicones in it, but I also don't know exactly what all of these are, but I don't see any cones. So yeah, it seems like the call outs here are mainly the shades and the uniqueness of those shades. I think that these also, just putting my marketing hat on for a second, Tower 28 is kind of a status brand for a younger set. They're affordable, but they're kind of like Glossier in that sense, where a kid at school pulls a package of Tower 28 or Glossier out of their bag and everybody's like, oh, I recognize that, it's cool, kind of thing. And there's a lot of brand equity to be had in being cool with a younger set and putting a price tag on it that they can afford that's just slightly aspirational. That's kind of how this is poised in the market to me, and I don't hate that for them at all, but I do think that like it is probably some people's first introduction to cream blush, and as you guys know, we're not new to cream blush here on my channel, and so I want to offer the perspective, I guess, of lots of experience with these things and just saying that like, yes, these are great. No, they are not completely unique. That's all. And you are not low vibe by any means for finding this packaging really appealing. It is very Gen Z looking to me. It's very, very cool. Just the whole branding situation is very cool. It's very effortless looking. And there is definitely something to be said for that. You guys know I will often opt to pay more for a product because I enjoy interacting with the packaging. So if this stimulates you, then absolutely, you know, this is also something that can be thrown in your bag, whereas the Danessa Myricks has a lift off non-closure kind of lid, like you would need to put a hair tie around it or something to keep it closed if you were to carry it with you. So it's more, you know, I'm just not going anywhere. I get ready in one room and it doesn't need to be portable, but I totally understand the appeal of portability. And I also understand the appeal of, you know, picking a couple of shades and that being it. Like they could just be your holy grail shade. So again, the ones that just came out are Rush Hour, Power Hour, and After Hours. And I have to say, I really, really enjoy these colors being added to the collection. The rose one was probably the one that I used the most, although I have not actually gotten a chance to try Golden Hour yet, so I'll have to try that on my own time, but it's, you know, the most orange out of all of them, so I'm not sure how that's going to work on me. Orange is not exactly like my first go-to color for my complexion, which is why I lean towards the rosy one. You know, you just go for what works for you. But I do love that we have like a beautiful terracotta, we have a true peach, and we have a really, really great wearable kind of like cool berry. And for that reason, I think that these are absolutely worth it, worth your $20. The formula is gorgeous, but I just want to give you guys the healthy perspective of someone who owns way too much cream blush. So if you found this valuable, guys, give it a thumbs up. If you want to keep hanging out with me on this channel, hit the button down below and subscribe. I would love it if you guys did. Thank you so much for watching, for hanging out with me today. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.